a spiritual person from, before your marriage or when you were in school? Was there a part of religion?
Just gonna push myself a little. I can see you. Yeah.
So was religion, spirituality a part of your earlier lifestyle? And how did that play any role in you becoming a yogini eventually?
No, zero spirituality. My family lived, they still live quite an adventurous life. They live in the moment. I wouldn't call them consciously religious also. I guess they just follow few rituals which are not so deep. So I had no background. So I think it was a blessing because nothing was infused onto me, and I was like a tabula rasa, a clean slate.
Yoga is such an integral part of our Hindu lifestyle, and it's been there for thousands of years. Hi, I'm Siddhant Rishi Prabhakar. I'm the founder of Digital RCRT. I'm a director at RPIF and a meta conscious venturer. And here with you today to share a couple of moments of bliss that I'm having at the Monum Yoga Farm, tuning in from Hyderabad. Here with me is Preethi, my friend, and a yogini who's been in the practice of yoga for the last 10 years. She's immersed in the various concepts and ideologies of Shiva, Shakti, and a part of the Monum farm, and is the idea and the inspiration behind this wonderful place that we are sitting in today. Hi Preeti, how are you doing?
Hello, Sid. I'm doing good. This is something new for me, and I'll just let it flow.
That's so nice.
Yeah.
So, can you tell us a little bit about Monum farm in brief?
Mounam is a field. It's a field which is ready, which is eager to let a lot of seekers, a lot of thirsty travelers on this journey towards their self. So yeah, we are here welcoming a lot of people to find who they are. A lot of fun things will happen, a lot of organic things will happen, and going to mix a lot of philosophies here, maybe yoga, tantra, there's Buddhist philosophy, there's Vedic and Kundalini, and we're going to get into the depth of it as we proceed.
Yes. And so we've been conversing for the last
Yeah.
3 to 4 days and going deep into spiritual and consciousness related conversations.
Yeah.
And a discovery that all of us co-created in this space while having our conversations was the discovery of our desires versus reality versus the infiniteness of everything here.
Yeah.
So, as you had explained it to me that day, can you try to? I know it's very hard to replicate the same words and expressions that we did that day, but can you throw a little light about how the game of desires, manifestations, and the game of being all intermerge together as we discussed that day?
Just bringing it out, a moment of silence. I love to talk about desires because it's a journey that I've taken very intensely. I've experimented with desires. I was acting from an impulsive place. I had this tremendous beastly energy where I would just follow it. There was no way. The energy was so immense and powerful and intense that I had to follow it. And so yeah, it was uh, predominantly sensual and pleasure driven and all that, the lower chakra stuff. Yeah, the sensual joy. So I've given fully into it. I surrendered. So my 10 years in the US was about hosting parties and yeah, yeah, there was a lot of fun in sense of alcohol to eating food to luxuries and doing everything that my being wanted to do. There was no suppression. There was only expression. There was only indulgence. I was quite wild, and so I was, I think, lucky to experiment, live in that danger, live in a space where I had the courage to go all out. Um, so it was a life of danger, a life of living on the edge. Though I was married and had children, I had a different world which was within. There was an ocean which was ready to explode. A lot of self-inquiry, a lot of non-adjustment with the world around, and I guess it's a lot of it was also trying to escape what I was seeing because I couldn't adapt and adjust and understand, and I like yeah.
Was there a part of religion?
Just gonna push myself a bit. See you. Yeah.
So was religion, spirituality a part of your earlier lifestyle, and how did that play any role in you becoming a yogini eventually?
No, zero spirituality. My family lived, they still live quite an adventurous life. They live in the moment. I wouldn't call them consciously religious also. I guess they just follow few rituals which are not so deep. So I had no background. So I think it was a blessing because nothing was infused onto me, and I was like a tabula rasa, a clean slate.
So um, the last 10 years, as you've expressed, is something which has been so it's like a new life for you, the life that you've had before, and now you've had this life where you've created this wonderful space, Monum. And so there are so many transitions and micro transitions between each and every one of them. So how has the process been for you? Now we've spoken about acknowledging Shiva, Shakti, dropping all of our barriers and just being in the moment. So if you can enlighten us on the spiritual aspect of it, the physical aspect also, and how it can be of inspiration to so many other people who might be also going through something of a similar sorts.
So yeah, continuing from where I stopped, where there was experimentation in the realm of desire, going fully into it, diving deep into it, there was a realization of illusion, seeing through it, the futility of all of it, and I was searching for. Guess yeah, everybody's searching for happiness. The Bhogi is also, Yogi is also. Bhogi is doing it quite unconsciously in the world, and Yogi has realized that, and then he goes within. So I was searching for God and utterly disappointed. I didn't know it was God, but now I realize that it was. I was searching for eternity. I was searching for bliss. I was searching for abundance. A lot of things outside, and yeah, utterly disappointed with that whole journey, seeing through it. um, uh, the dropping was effortless, so I would just yeah, then I knew that there were terms for it. Pratyahara was very natural, withdrawal of senses, and so I dropped the world and went within. And you need a conducive ground for that. You can't be there in the same environment where there's always a danger of being pulled into it. So I had to come stay away in the nature, and it was always there was always a need for me, a higher need um, deep within was being close to the trees. There was a connection with the trees right from the childhood. I think that manifested my longing to be in the nature in a very raw environment. Um, so I got here, it was an empty field, and I had no idea, I had no goals, I had nothing. I was not like very typically, in the worldly sense, smart or intelligent. I used to really, yeah, it was another journey in the school where I wouldn't do good in school. Everything went beyond my head, and yeah, in that sense, I was very unintelligent with the world. There was no success there. So all I knew was, yeah, I've lived a life which didn't work, and now I'm gonna uh, try something else, because yeah, there's only one life, and then I just don't want to drag it because something didn't work, and I'm gonna change the formula now, do something very differently. So that's when then where I started being with myself. It was so hard to be with myself because I was someone who was very active outwardly. Like, I was this person who wanted crowd around me, who wanted a lot of tamasha, a lot of adventure, a lot of play, a lot of jazz, and all kind of craziness, and that and now to I know that didn't work, and I have to embrace myself, right? It was like a pain to be with myself because who I was very empty, and there was nothing nice. And you sit for meditation, and then you have all these demons and all the desires which are still there. I've renounced it, the gross aspects of it, like the world and the civilization and all. But then but then I was empty. This was, you call that the dark night of the soul, right? I don't know who I was. And yeah, it's not,
Like a midlife crisis.
it's not fun, because yeah, there was no fullness. It was just a lot of boredom. But I was someone who had this intense energy and this attitude of giving 100% into whatever I picked. I was doing that in the world. I went fully into it, and now that energy is just like a matter of channelizing the same energy, the raw Shakti that I was, and unintelligent Shakti had to be created. Yeah, just need, a
Directionalized.
direction, right?
Yeah.
So that was the beginning, but a lot of it was not smooth, it was not easy, it was not fun. But the willpower, the sankalpa shakti, I think I that was the virtue. There were few, luckily there were few virtues that I still had, like the desire, truth would attract me a lot. I would
Correct.
love goodness, I would love humor in people, I would love adventure. And then yeah, there's willpower, I think. My dad has a lot of it. um, I guess I've seen him, and something like this also is very innate. So I was using a lot of will. So sitting in meditation wasn't easy. It was like labor pains. My
Oh
body
my
would
god.
ache, and my tears would flow like that. And like, I don't know, like it was like janam janam ka paap kuch hai. There's love, mountain sitting, and then I had to sit through. I had to sit through as if like someone was like, splitting me into pieces with a blade. So yeah, a few years of that, and I had to sit through, and not knowing the philosophy, not understanding the concepts, because I had never read the Gita, neither there was a guide for me. I've never heard anything like concepts called soul and self or Atman. So I was quite raw. There's no preconceived ideas, or there was no scriptures, there was no rituals, there's no theory, there's no nothing. So I was quite fresh and
So
yeah,
I have a question for you right
yeah,
now. Usually when we think about meditation, we think of it as a tool to, get into our mindful states, to become more and more conscious. And what you've shared is meditation was hard for you to sit down, and it was like a forced labor, the way you shared
yeah.
it right now. So then what was the outcome of meditation? How long did it take you to find yourself? When did it start becoming pleasurable to meditate?
Um, so this structure was built at Vipassana. Okay, this earlier to Vipassana, there was a very immature sadhana that went on where I would just sit and recite mantra, just one mantra which was given by Deepak Chopra, the institution in the US. I would sit in a home theater, drop the kids at school, and sit with myself. And then Vipassana, after years of that sadhana, where I would just, there was a little, because I was sitting very comfortably then, and I would just twist and turn, and it was like, oh, nice, you close your eyes and you can sit the way you want to. And it wasn't it wasn't insightful, but I would experience some peace from what I was going through, and I felt there was a little addiction to that, and I would sit for long hours. And then Vipassana came, and you know how Vipassana is, where it's like the deepest, toughest, most challenging thing to do, and sitting for hours and hours, and it was like, I had like, I had this beastly will, as I said, and I would just sit, and I knew the teacher, and I would just, which was my friend's mom, and she made me sit right in front of her. And so it was like, I need to prove, I know the teacher knows me, and I like,
Extra responsibility.
and then I was sitting, but she would like people around would me perceive me as this experienced yogini, she knows, and how she's sitting like Buddha. But I knew what was happening. It was ripples, it was churning of the ocean. I was like, it was so hard, but just the willpower, it was not pleasant at all. It was like I would just surely by the, it's no grace, but it's just the ego wanting to prove that I can sit and sit and sit, and somehow I managed to finish the 10 days, and because I committed and I didn't want to leave, I didn't want the teacher to perceive me, or the people around, the family or friends, to perceive me as someone who's got a weak will. So that was something else, no? Yeah. And also I knew that my life isn't working, and if I leave this now, I had to jump into the river or something, and there's nothing
But
else. I've tried all, I've tried. Yeah.
but when you decided that
Yeah.
that the earlier life isn't working out and you
Yeah.
want to move into a newer life, did you have a vision or something that you could manifest, that this is going to be my new life? Did you manifest this life, or how did it add up?
I'll tell you. So there is no goal, no ambition, no vision, zero. I was miserable, and I wanted a remedy. I knew, or I tried what all I knew, to seeking peace through pleasure. That's what everyone does, right? So I've done all that, and there's nothing else left. So where are we now with this?
So was there when we talk about manifestation,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. I'll get to that point. So, but the young me, the 6-year-old me, had desires. I don't know if other 6-year-olds would entertain such stuff, but I was like, I didn't know I had this sage budding in me, or which was. Now I see that, we would have this lunch under this a beautiful massive tree in the school, and that was the most enjoyable time in the school. I would just want to sit there even after my lunch. I would just want to sit there, soak into the earth, look at the tree, and there was like they. See, I couldn't articulate it then, but I knew now as I'm talking. I think a part of me, some part of me, subconscious self knew that why is everybody running around? When sitting under the tree doing nothing is so
Peaceful.
peaceful, action didn't make any sense.
Mm.
I wouldn't say. I mean, if someone would have asked me what it is, I didn't know. I just knew that I love trees and it feels nice sitting under it. So classroom was a torture.
Mm.
Nothing was piercing in above the head. Fail in almost all the subjects except the languages. So there was a lot of worthlessness I felt, and a lot of embarrassment, failing, and yeah, the school education was very different then, and they would really read out your marks, and your
The parent teachers meetings.
meetings, and my mom would like put her head down, and some drama in
So it's
the
always been the same with parent teachers meetings.
yeah. She suffered, I suffered, and it was not a nice environment. Um, so yeah, there was this uh, intelligence which was already there for me, where there was this tree, and you don't have to do much to
Just feel yourself and be calm.
yeah. You don't have to run around; just be there.
So
Yeah,
my follow-up question would be: Is
Yeah.
is it only with trees that you feel this?
I'll tell
or
you.
yeah.
So there's that, and there's this attraction towards truth, speaking the truth, towards goodness, towards play and adventure. These were few things that I was yielding towards, and also giving more than what I take. Going out of the way to help. That wasn't pleasant experience for me because I was not coming from the place of wisdom or knowing or inner spiritual abundance. So uh, and the dysfunctionality was so much, like I would call myself, yeah, I had the language later, but I didn't know what was happening. I was quite dyslexic in many things. I wouldn't understand basic math. I wouldn't retain. I couldn't even now. It's really a big task for me with memory. I can't retain information, and so where are we? See, I'm dyslexia. So yeah.
So I'll just give a
Where were
little.
we? I know where I have to go.
Yeah.
I just forgot.
Yeah. So we were talking about the tree at the school, and
Oh yeah, I got
Yeah.
I got it. So yeah, there was a lot of worthlessness, and I just couldn't see why I was here. There was this heart which was like it was an ocean. My heart was big, and I didn't had the intelligence to support my heart. So I was very impulsive. There was a lot of energy, and I didn't had the intelligence to hold this heart, and I didn't see I found myself very very useless in many areas. I couldn't see any skill, talent, or I wouldn't consider myself attractive in any way, or I felt like I was a burden. So there was many conversations that I had. I didn't know then it was like mother and this is earth. I would just talk it out, right? As a kid, like, why am I here? I mean, I find everyone in this world useful in some way. And you gave me this heart which wants to give, which wants to share, which wants to contribute. And I feel like I don't know, I don't have any wealth. I'm not talking about the material wealth.
Yeah.
I as a person, there's nothing. How can I contribute to you? I don't want to be a burden.
So is
I-
that was that an understanding in comparison to others, or was that an understanding because if you look at yourself and see that as an individual, all of us do have some or the other qualities, and at times we have a standard metrics through which we compare each and every one ourselves. कि मेरा भाई ऐसा है तो he's good at this, that, and that's why I'm comparing myself with them, and that's where I feel I'm a zero. So was that sort of a feeling, or was that how was it?
I would look around and everyone were beautiful in many ways, and I couldn't find any beauty within me. I had a sensitive heart. Other than that, I guess yeah, you would compare, but it's not that I had anything also. It's a factual thing where
Okay.
I just couldn't perceive a lot of things. There was this sensual blockage that I wasn't receiving. There was a big block in taking in information through my five senses. It
Okay.
was very, very cloudy.
Okay.
As if I didn't belong to this world at all.
Okay, like an alien.
Yeah, like an alien.
Okay. And so how did you work around that?
It was a struggle. It was a struggle where rituals made no sense, religion made no sense, temples and gods I couldn't understand, and I didn't know where I didn't belong to the society. I didn't like the way it was so fear-centric, the institutions and society was forcing you to do a lot of things. And I knew I was seeking freedom. I want to be free. And yeah, since there was non-acceptance of me because I wasn't like everyone else, and obviously non-acceptance is not people wouldn't find me very intelligent. So, and I guess I could also see that there's not so much love coming my way, because all the attention and love would go to people who are smart and doing things beautifully. I would be very good at sports though. I would be very good at making friends and sports and play and
Partying.
laughing and that part was very, very natural for me. So there was not. I think I saw that there wasn't any love coming my way, and I would just go out of the way to receive love. And also there was a heart which was pure and which wanted to give. It was a mixture of both, wanting to receive love, and I would give, and there's this purity where I really wanted to give something.
And so, as one last follow-up question, or the second last follow-up question, is that today we see the times changing, right?
Yeah.
We have so much more spiritual awareness. We have such huge organizations like Isha Foundation, Art of Living, etc., where they're working towards the conscious development of schools, children, societies, etc. So, how do you see that as a growth point for us as a society to support each other? Is that something that can you talk about it a little?
So nice to have conscious communities. It's so nice to have support, to have a feel, to have a ground, a sense of belongingness, someone to hold your hand, a guru, a mentor, satsangis, and where else would you go? I didn't had any support. Earlier, if I would find someone who would give me this knowledge, it would have been different. But everything happens when it's meant to happen. Conscious communities are very essential as oxygen.
And would you term Monum also as a budding conscious community?
Of absolutely, absolutely. Every day I wake up and the intention is to be a vehicle for Dharma to flow, to be centered in the heart, to give freely, uh, put the logical, calculative mind aside, the desire, the mind that desires fame, name, and money, and all the material. Yes, there's this source and soul in you which is ready to flow, and then there's this mind which comes in between. you know yeah, how do you tune into the source and acknowledge the mind, tune into the source? And I really want to do this sincerely. I really want to be an open field for a lot of evolutionary work. I, as Mounam, evolutionary work to flow through this field, and how to do this consciously, how to do this selflessly, how to do this with love, how to do uh, with holding everyone with a lot of empathy. And at the same time, the joy, the selfishness is about your own growth, your own evolution. Obviously, yeah, I'm quite selfish that way, where I, if my growth isn't connected, I wouldn't be doing this. I admit that. And I see myself growing in this field, and this is something which is helping me unburden, unlearn, and also a channel for a lot of people who comes here, who's eager, thirsty to find their
Awesome.
source.
And I think it's very important to have this very energetic space like Monum. And I love the place. You've done such a wonderful job over here, creating this oasis of connection to the earth, connection to oneself, and connection to the divine. And I would just like to end this conversation, interaction of ours, with this one thought that is stuck to my head, which you shared with me today morning, is that when our body is in movement through yoga, when our body is going through the stretches and doing all the yoga postures, everything just naturally flows. And that was something that made me ponder again and again that, oh, this is the connection between the body, mind, and soul. And that's just something which is very beautiful. And thank you for that. And thank you for creating such a wonderful space that all of us can cherish for years to come.
Yeah. Thank you, both of you, you and Arundhati, for bringing this out so beautifully. Um, yeah, a lot of satsangs that we've been having, this couldn't have come out without your curious hearts and wanting to really sincerely know. It's just, yeah, your whole of heart was there listening attentively, and yeah, I really had a beautiful organic time, and these 2 days have been really phenomenal in connecting to the inner union, the union of Shakti, which is already there within me, and you've really played um, a great role in
Yes.
bringing the Shakti out into
Thank
this
you.
field,
It's a
the dance
pleasure.
of
It's a
stillness
pleasure.
and
It's a pleasure for me and my mom to be a part of this budding community. And if ever any of you come to Monum, always demand for the dam ride, the ride to the reservoir at night in the truck, which is an unmissable experience at Monum, the trampoline. And of course, we can't stop admiring the lovely food that Monum has.
that's the order. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Lots of love. Thank you.